Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first console that we're going to do in the new workshop here in Grand Junction, Colorado. We got a VM, Voice of Music, 812 here. This belongs to my good buddy Brett in New Jersey. And it's a very, very gorgeous cabinet. Nothing needs doing, just some dressing, some very, very light dressing, but it's absolutely beautiful condition. It's a tube unit, of course, I think from 1959. And one of the good features is, because it doesn't have a big woofer like a Drexel, is you got some storage there for some records and what have you. Obviously a VM turntable, record changer right there. I've heard it say that this is a poor man's Drexel because the design is very similar to the SK's 32, 52s and what have you. I don't know about a poor man's unit because I'd be a very rich man if I own this guy. But yeah, very, very nice. Beautiful gold touches there and tones and what have you. It does have FM stereo, but I don't believe there's a multiplex in there. So it's FM mono. But we'll have a look at that. But yeah, let's, if I put this down, I'll check my fingers. Let's take it up and have a look at the back. Okay, so, isn't that thing cool? Here we are at that 6.4 working height, which is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, we got a nice quad output tube amplifier here. It's sporting some 4 6v6 GTs. I bet they sound great. And it's sharing a 12AX7 preamp tube right there. There's the turntable. And then we got a little preamp volume section right here, I believe. I've yet to dig into it. I do have the schematic. But yeah, there's the multiplex input and output, which it does not have. So it'll sound great FM, but it definitely won't be stereo. We've got some 12-inch, look like 12-inch mid-range woofers probably, and then we've got a nice little couple of tweeters there. I'm not going to do a massive restore video on this because it's pretty damn simple. We all know what's in there, and we all know what's in there. But what I will do is, if I find any idiosyncrasies and what have you, I will definitely share. All right, cracking on. Okay, so we got an 812, 912 here. The 912 pictured. I'm pretty sure this is from, even though that's September 60, pretty sure this guy is 1959, but Brett will let me know. All right, first glance here, we got those 6v6 GTs. This guy looks like the getter has gone, so I guess they call it gassing off, but that doesn't look good. But we'll have a look at the tube tester. Be interested to see what that gets out, but pretty much guarantee that that thing's NG. It's a pretty simple circuit right there, kind of nice and clean and well laid out. You got a couple of hum pots right there and electrolyte it right there. But put it on the wax and one-handed. But yeah, and then we got this big old power can here with all these nice high-powered values. Anyway, so we'll get to that, recap it, test those tubes, and then move on to other stuff. Okay, we've got a very nice, clean, original VM changer right here. It's got the dual idler, and this is very, very pliable, nicely soft. So I'm just gonna end up roughing that edge up and giving it a good clean, and that should do it. This guy is sporting a Sonotone 8T. I don't know if that works, and to tell you the truth, I don't care because I always replace them now. That thing is 1959, you do the math, frickin' thing's 40, 50 years old, if it was the original one. It's also a big ass needle, And I just don't send them out with those anymore, even if it works. So we're going to put a tetrad in there because that's requested by Brett. I use the PT228s a lot on these tube units because especially on the Drexels with the third channel, because they already have too much bass and the 228s don't have enough bass, if you ask me. So I think they work perfectly, but this doesn't have a third channel. So we're going to put a tetrad in there to keep everybody happy and tickety-boo. All right. Well, the tuner pops out nicely. It just literally slid up on these rails right here. But to get to the tone control, volume control, preamp, it's got this cardboard separator here. It's nice that everything's labeled. This is actually very well engineered. I like it already. But yeah, I got to pop these staples out to get that out. Unless, I mean, does it just lift out like that did? Let me come down and check it out. Okay, so that panel did have to come off. I don't know if you can see, but there's 1 and 2 holding this guy up. So we'll take those off, and we've already took the knobs off from the top side, and it'll just drop out. Okay, so I'm waiting for some caps to arrive for this guy. We are going to chop it off because I know I was groaning. There's just no room for 4 big caps in there, 450 volts, so they're going to be on the larger size. I will look and see if I can get a replacement can. I highly doubt it because it's, what is it, 60-40, 20-20? I'll see what I can do. But anyway, we're going to save chopping it off so it looks beautiful. We're going to test some tubes because we know that one's going to be bad. And I'm going to use my Precision tube tester. That is my go-to. But I would have loved to use this. I'll do a video on this guy separately, but just pick this up. It's a beauty. It's one of those tube testers from the stores. But yeah, this has been taken off, and as you can see right here, I've already got it apart to replace the caps and some bulbs, what have you, give it a general cleanup. Yeah, but I would love to have used that, but that's another story. But we'll get going now with this guy. Okay, so this is our first tube right here. Let it heat up a little bit. Got all the right settings and what have you. I did the short test already. And yeah, let's just see what this guy says. That's the fuse. Ready? Ooh, that's not good. Very questionable, as you can see. That was the first one. Let's go to number 2. Okay, did the short test and everything. Let's heat it up. Let's do number 2. Well, that's better. And I've got a funny feeling they probably all read in the mid-60s zone. I'll do some research on that because not everything goes to 100 or 11, because we always like 11 because it's louder. But sometimes some tubes are in a specific scale, like EL82s. They're always around about in the mid-80s. On this machine, it's different for different machines. But yeah, getting better as it gets hotter and hotter. All right, so that's a good one. That's number 2. So number 1's questionable. Anyway, I'll crack on and do some more. Okay, so we're back to number 1. I've left it on for a good couple of minutes to really heat up, and we'll test it again. Yeah, not good. This guy has to be replaced, and we haven't even got to the gassed one yet. That's next. So anyway, okay, so the gassed one. I'm betting this is going to be no good, but let's read the meter here. We got everything set. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, same as the other one, but it's kind of interesting. I thought it'd be worse, but yeah. So we got 2 bad uns. Even though it's in the questionable, we're not gonna send that out. We're gonna get some new ones, at least 2. All right. Okay, so I went in my stock and I had one brand new NOS 6V6 GT, and let it warmed up, did the short test, but let it warmed up. And we're gonna see what a brand new one, say brand new, NOS, been on the shelf for quite a few years, but it's new out the box. All right. Whoa. Check that out. So a brand new one, it's in the mid-80s, whereas the other ones were, one was like mid-60, another one was mid-70s, I believe. I have to go back and look. But anyway, doesn't mean they're bad, just that this one is brand spanking, so it's got a little bit more oomph in it. The other two are perfectly fine because they're in that good range. But yeah, so I need to get another 6V6 GT. Okay, so we just opened up the tuner, and I was kind of really liking the way this thing was built, but I'm not so sure now because this good old waxy big electrolytic right here has got to be replaced, and I got to take the board off at the bottom, and I really hope there's a cutout to get to that, because otherwise just wow. Okay, we'll see. Well, I lucked out there. It's tucked up on that side somewhere, but anyway, I can get to that, so we'll replace that. Also give this a nice clean, the diode glass. But here's an interesting thing. Look at that. It's made by GE. So the tuner section, made by GE for VM. Who knew? Okay, so we took this out and cleaned it up. Put some new lamps in here, bi-pins, 1897s. Hard to come by. Anyway, replaced that cap. It was obviously a combo cap. And as you can see here, on the other side, the trace was loose and started coming away. So I put a little bit of hot glue there to keep it all nice and stable. But yeah, that's done. Went to the preamp section right here. These two 12AX7s are fine. No electrolytics. And here we got some bumblebees. Now, I used to replace these all the time. And I've since learned by doing some guitar amps that these are highly coveted because they're oil filled, where they're actually mylar wrapped in oil. Rarely go bad. And the aftermarket for these is quite big on eBay. So they tested good. I'm going to leave them because they sound good. All right. Okay. We did bench test this, but I forgot to video it. Got ahead of myself. So it's the amp and everything's in here. But yeah, we got the new caps. And these are a bunch of used tubes. I wasn't happy with the performance of 2 of the other tubes, as you saw previously. So I got a kind of a match set from a guy, Alman Jared. 100% rating on eBay, does good work, and all new, tested, and semi-matched. You know, the numbers are pretty much the same. 6V6 GTs right there. That test is out okay. The rectifier tube, rectifier tube, that goes there. I'm not going to put that in right now because I've got to put the big cable in there. New bulb, and the speakers is all checked out, and new crossover cap. So slowly starting to put it together. Okay, finished the service on the turntable, got a bit ahead of myself again, and should have really stopped and showed you how I put this in. This is a tetrad. The original was a Sonotone 8T. This actually worked. Of a fashion. Like I said, I don't put these in. I mean, I don't leave them in on anything service for anybody anymore. I know some people who do and then claim they're going to work another 50 years. Not true. This is a tetrad. Comes with a harness here. As you can see, that very easy to put back and replace the other one, and then resolder. Put a little bit of tape up there. This stuff right here. This stuff right here is cloth tape. This is what they used in the old days, not the crappy electrical tape, which is for other stuff, but the cloth tape, otherwise known as gaffer's tape in the industry. That's 2-inch, 1-inch is camera tape. But anyway, that's the good stuff. It'll stay stuck and it won't come away like the plastic electrical tape, which is used for other reasons. So anyway, got the tetrad there, as you can see from Gary at Voice of Music. It tracks at 3 to 5 grams, exactly the same as that. Now it is a bit lighter, so I did have to use, adjust the tracking force with this spring right here. So it was kind of a couple of notches up and I went a couple of notches down and then reweighed it. Anyway, it sounds great. As my buddy Brett already told me, it does sound good, especially on something that's not a third channel. And I've told that story. But yeah, so there we go. We're going to get it back in. Oh yeah, as you can see, this is kind of my gag to keep this up when replacing it. Oh, so this mount in here, if you can see in there, a bit of more light. There we go. You have to put the mount in first. You're going to use longer screws. You even might have to rub the mount down with a bit of emery paper, you know, sandpaper stuff. But you have to glue, super glue, the actual cartridge to the mount. And that is a given. There's no other way of doing it. So there you go. Sorry I didn't show you as I was doing it. I got way carried away. But yeah, she's all done and we'll get her in. Okay. We are done. All serviced, capped, you name it. Bluetooth. Yeah, we're going to Bluetooth it, but yeah, pretty much all done. We're going to put those little screws back on to mount the amp down. But yeah, there she is. And as always, I will do a video of it playing separately for YouTube reasons. But yeah, pretty simple service, and thanks for watching, and that's next.